Okay, welcome to the show, Working with Wood. Today we're going to do a craft type thing. It's a little stand has 3 sections to it. A picture of a lady sent me this and she asked if we could maybe build a couple, and I said sure, we'll take a look at her. So what it does, it holds potatoes. It's got one section that holds potatoes, another one's got onions in it. And the bottom one looks like on the picture has sweet potatoes or something in it. So I haven't got any sizes, so I'll just have to go off of the size of an onion, I guess, and try to figure out the size of the box. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up. That's what it looks like. So that's what she sent me. And I guess we'll try to build it. Now what we're going to do is we've got 1x6 pine boards. This don't look to be 6 inches. I figure about 4 maybe. So what we'll do is we'll rip them down on the table saw. It's got another piece there that holds them up. You can see this piece right here. So that looks to be about maybe 3 inches, 2 inches. And then it's got a couple of feet on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe take a look at this, see if I can figure it out on what the dimensions are of these boxes, and then we'll start cutting her out. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay, we got our pieces. I took a look at it when I took the boards, and we made it a little bit bigger than what we thought we were gonna. So I got the first one pretty well cut out. So what I did is I took, this is 7-inch pine boards, 14 inches long, 7 by 14, 2 of them, that's the sides, and the ends are 7 by 7. So we'll be putting it on the outside, so the inside of the box will be 7 inches. Okay, we got our compressor charged up. We're going to be using just brad nails to put this together, and carpenter's glue. Always use glue. It's just the way we have to do it. So we put a little bead of glue down here. Take our first piece. Now the glue, you can wipe it off after, like you want to put a good amount on. Once we get it set here where we want it, just put a brad nail in it, and we'll be cooking. Okay, here's our box done. Now I decided not to round off the edges. We'll just go with a square edge just like what's in the picture. So we got our box done. What we're going to do now is put a bottom on it. So what we need is a piece 15 and a half. So we'll take a piece of stock here, we'll cut it 15 and a half and nail it on. So on this pine, what I always do is I always take maybe a half an inch off the edge. The edge of the wood is rough. We want a finish edge on it. So I always take about a half an inch off or a quarter of an inch. Something about that thick, just to get rid of the rough edge. So what we're looking for is 15 and a half. So there we go, 15 and a half, exactly. So what we'll do is put this on the bottom of our box. Okay, here we are. So now what we're going to do is put a little glue on the edges here. And then we'll brad nail it. There we go. So this is what we're going to do. We make 3 of them, and then we'll make some kind of a rack for them to hold them up. So let's cut out the rest of them and get them together. Now this is a rustic looking piece. The piece in the that I got the picture of, like, it has gaps in it. It's, you know, it's made of rustic lumber, like old barnwood or something. So if we were going that direction, we wouldn't really worry about getting everything right flush. If we're looking for that look, like that rustic look. But this is brand new wood. It is warped a little bit. The wood sat around since last fall, so it did warp a little bit over the winter, but not too bad. Like, it's still very usable. All right, so we'll get this piece on, and then we'll put the bottoms on these last two. So we got to glue this bottom piece, and then we'll pull this the top piece out and glue it before we put it in here. If you're using a brad nail, you got to be careful when you're brad nailing this, because what happens, some of them brad nails will go crooked and come out the side of your wood. And if your finger is there holding it straight or whatever, you're going to put a nail in your finger. So make sure that that doesn't happen, because it sure hurts when you put a brad nail in your finger or your leg. All right, we get this one set. So we did have one pop out the side here, so we'll have to remove it. So we're going to cut the bottoms for the boxes. 15.5 inches, and it's 7 inches wide anyway, so it's perfect as the board is. So 15.5 inches is where we're cutting. Okay, so we got the bottoms cut, so we'll put some glue on here. Let's look, see which is the best. I guess it don't matter with these. So we'll put a touch of glue on here. This glue is incredible. It pretty near bonds just as soon as the wood touches it, but it is good glue. Okay, there's our boxes done. 3 boxes. Now we have to figure out how we're gonna stand these up on a couple of rails. So what we'll do is we'll figure out the width of the rails, how high we want this to be. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip it out through the table saw and then screw them together. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, we got our boxes built, we got our rails done. Now what we're doing is we're nailing them on the rails onto the boxes with that angle, so you can, when it stands up, you can put stuff in the box. So what we're doing is we went off one edge. So this bottom edge here, this bottom corner, is flush with the corner of the rail. So we measure at the top, we get 5 inches. So now on this one we have to get 5 inches and be on the flush on the corner. So we're at 5 inches and it's flush. Now measure this up here, see where we're at. Okay, so we'll drive a brad nail in here. Measure this one just to make sure, 5 inches. Okay, so what we got to do with this bottom one is we're a little shy of 5 inches here. If you can see it or not on this side, this top piece, but we're not on the corner. So if we pull this over so we're on the corner, put a brad there to hold it. If we measure across the top, we're at 5 inches exactly. So there it is on the rails. Let me just stand it up so we can take a look at it. So you can see that it's the same thing as what's in the picture. Only thing is, down at the bottom you can see where it's on the table. We got no feet on it yet. The only thing we do is have the rails. So now we're going to build the feet for it. All right, to build the feet for this, what we're going to do is we're going to rip down some more stock. 3.5 inches is what the width is of this board that's going across, holding up the boxes. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip down another piece, 3.5 inches. Then we'll build the feet that go on the rails. So the width on our saw is already set from cutting the rails out of this stock. So what we're going to do is we'll put one piece through the table saw and rip it in half. So the way we'll measure this, we'll figure out, I would say probably let's try 18 inches. So what we'll do, we'll cut a piece 18 inches long, we'll try that. Here's a piece 18 inches. I think that'll be fine. So let's cut another piece this length. Here we are with that. So what we want to do is we want this to be on an angle here. We don't want it to come out square. So what we're going to figure out is we're going to go up one inch and we're going to go back 4. Okay, here's our feet. You can see that we cut the angle just so it's not stuck out so much for people to trip on, stuff like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure the top and we're going to center it. So we're at 13 inches. So 6.5 inches. So we'll put this on its side. Now what we have to do is we have to find the center on this. So we're looking at 3 3.25. We just brad nailed this for the time being, but we will be putting some smaller bolts through it to hold it in. All right, so we're going to put that there and this here. Now we'll flip this again. We got some shows coming up. The next one of the shows we're going to be putting a new sink into a place. They called me up and asked if we'd come put a sink in. They have 2 sinks now. They need a 3rd sink for a hand washing sink. They're making an ice cream outlet here in North Battleford, and they need the sink to meet regulations for the food health. They're the health inspector. So we'll be doing that on a couple of shows coming up. There's the picture, the thing that was in the pictures the woman was sent me. Now we'll stain that and hopefully it will work. I might do something with the bottom of the feet there. I don't know yet, but we'll do something.